Welcome back to Tameras Travels. You guys will never believe what happened to me on this trip to Chiang Mai. I actually got pulled over at a police stop. So they basically tried to bribe me money and said that if I didn't give them money, then I would have to go to jail. But first, let me show you around the night market. So the night before, I was in the city of Chiang Mai, and I was here checking out the night market. I bought some really beautiful necklaces here. I honestly wish I picked up more. They made amazing gifts, and I kept several of them, and they're just gorgeous. So that was a lot of fun. And then I wandered into the Buddhist temple here in the middle of the square. And I will say, it's just really elaborate. Like, every single detail of the temple is just really fancy. They must have spent a lot of time and money on it. So fast forward to the next morning, I was really excited to head out of the city of Chiang Mai and rent this scooter and go up to Tiger Village, or Tiger Kingdom I guess it's called, to pet the tigers. And that was one of my biggest goals, and that's why I took the 12-hour train ride up from Bangkok to Chiang Mai. It's about, I want to say at least an hour drive by scooter up this windy mountain to get to Tiger Kingdom and all the other tourist attractions up there. And I did not have a working cell phone, or my cell phone was working, but I didn't have a SIM card, so I had no 3G. So I was riding around in circles being like, where's this road? Of course, all the street signs are in Thai, so I was trying to figure out which way was north and how to get out of the city, which is basically set up in a really big square. So it's really easy to find your way around Chiang Mai City. Eventually though, I found the way out of Chiang Mai, and I thought I was on my way, and I was really excited. I was like, oh great, I found the road, and you pretty much follow that road all the way up until you hit Tiger Kingdom. And no more than 10 minutes outside of Chiang Mai City, as you can see, they put these big orange cones and they have this police stop. And this is also just to warn anybody else who's thinking about doing this. This is a routine stop. I think they do this like every day, and they target tourists. So basically they pulled me over and they told me to stop recording. That's why unfortunately I don't have the video. And because I'm not in America, I wasn't sure what their laws were about whether I was allowed to record or not, or what they could do if I was recording and wasn't listening to them. So I decided, I'm just gonna turn it off. There was a lot of other people around, and not record. And so I turned it off, and they were really trying to intimidate me. And basically he asked me for my driver's license, and I showed him my driver's license, and he says, do you have a Thai driver's license? And I said, no, I have my American license, but it's in English, so it should be fine. And he says, do you have an international license? And I said, no, but I have my US license, and on my US license I actually have my motorcycle license, which is the M1. So yeah. And he says, oh, this is not good, you need a Thai license to drive in Thailand. Basically you're going to have to go to jail now, and you're gonna have to pay these big fines, but don't worry, if you just pay me, I forget how much he asked for, it was around $20 US, but if you want to pay me X amount of baht, then don't worry about it. You can go ahead, and I won't take you, I won't write you this big fine, I won't take you to jail. He's like, okay, and I say, no, not okay, I'm not okay with this. I'm pretty sure it's fine with a US license because it's in English. And I remember I had looked this up before to see if I was legally allowed to drive in Thailand, And again, I did not have a cell phone with Wi-Fi, which is the big problem, so I couldn't search anything. But I remember I had Googled, can, you ride around in Thailand with just, an English license? And it said yes, as long as your license is in English or in Thai, that was fine as long as you're just, traveling in Thailand for up to 3 months or something. And anyway, so he just kept saying, no, this is illegal, and do you want to go to jail? And I said, I was like, okay, yeah, sure, let's go to jail. I would like to speak to whoever's in charge. I want to speak to your supervisor because what you're telling me is not okay. You asking me for money is not okay, and I'm not paying. And so he just was pretty shocked that I said I wanted to go to jail. I don't think many tourists, especially women, would say that. They just probably just pay him the money and leave, because I was basically like, look, if I pay you the 20 US dollars, then I'm gonna drive 10 minutes down the road and another police officer is gonna pull me over and then I'm gonna have to pay him $20, etc. And he's like, no, 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 you just pay once, it's not gonna happen again. I was like, yeah, but I don't know if that's true or not. I was like, look, if what you're telling me is true, then I don't want to drive in Thailand. I don't know the laws here. I'm just a tourist, I don't want to be illegal. Like, I don't want to be doing something that's breaking a Thai law. Because if it's not okay, then I can't pay you. I need to, like, return the scooter. And he was a little confused by me a bit. I think just because I think most people just pay him the money and then go on their merry way. But I was just like, no, let's go ahead. Let's go to jail because you know what? I need to speak to your supervisor about what's happening, and I need to speak to the U.S. Embassy because this is not okay. And so he basically was like, what do you want to do? And I was just like, well, how about I just return the scooter? He's like, okay, fine. You return the scooter, no problem. I was like, okay, bye. And so as you see here, I'm doing this U-turn and I returned the scooter. And when I returned the scooter, I told the people what happened. You notice a lot of Thai people are not wearing helmets. It's actually illegal to not wear a helmet in Thailand, but they do not enforce certain laws. So there's a very big difference in Thailand between their actual laws and the laws they tend to enforce. So then I went to see the monkeys, and they were a lot of fun. Though I will say it was a bit sad them being in the cages. I think that they were a bit, I don't know, not the happiest monkeys. The show was okay. I wasn't super impressed, but it was like, I think $5 to go there.
And they have to boil and steam and then that color because this is the natural.
Yeah,
They
diet.
have to like the dye color chemical. Yeah, and this is a chemical,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Raw.
No,
Yeah.
natural dye.
Yes. Natural dye and raw silk. And this is silk and this is imitation. Just see this. Bữa ơn tôi cam ngã. And then she make a yeah.
I do not like snakes, like, at all. Like, I'm kind of like Indiana Jones in that way. I don't fear many things, but I hate snakes.
Not take the poison out, like it's still poison and very dangerous. Whoa. Slowly Very beautiful color, but very aggressive. You see, so aggressive. Hey, this way, baby. Walk around on mountain. As you working on right field, everybody very be careful.
The snake show was really entertaining. It was a bit scary just knowing they were putting their lives on the line playing with snakes that had venom in them. I'm like, yeah, no, can you please stop? And but it was also really cheap and it was definitely worth it seeing the different snakes.
Oh, eye to eye.
And then finally, I made it to the Tiger Kingdom. And as you can see here are the pictures of me and the tigers. Unfortunately, I don't have footage because you're not allowed to film there. They're very strict on that. Basically, because I was traveling by myself, I couldn't find somebody else who could film for me, and they're very strict because they don't want you. A, they make money off the photos they sell you, and B, they want you to make sure you're aware of your surroundings because there are 2 tigers in the cage, and they don't want you like filming one and not be paying attention and for the other tiger to harm you. So the tigers were worth it. These are the giant tigers, which is the largest size. I kind of regret not going to see this baby tigers because I think that would have been really cool. They could have sat in your lap, but they have all different sizes and they're different prices depending on how big they are. Because obviously the giant ones are the most expensive ones. But I figure if I'm only petting tigers once, I want to see the biggest ones I can, and they were giant. I mean, look at their paws. So that was my Chiang Mai experience. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe below and you can follow me around Thailand and then on to Japan and around the world. I'm trying to visit every single country in the world eventually. And comment below if a police officer has ever tried to bribe you when you're traveling, what country and what the bribe was, so that we can learn from each other and not get scammed by police officers. Alright, I'll see you next week. Cheers!